downtown from our Ford Skycam pointed right down at Market Street outside of some of the traffic from the evening rush. You can see the road itself is pretty clear.
Yeah, however, side streets in the city of St. Louis are sometimes showing a completely different story, like the one you see right behind us. You can see that they're still ice covered and slick more than a week after the blast of winter weather.
Well, now these icy conditions are causing frustrations to boil over. Our John Kipper live at City Hall tonight as city leaders hear from residents who are really frustrated with these slick streets. John.
Yeah, that meeting is wrapping up about right now. But as you mentioned, over the last week or so, we have just seen a flurry of complaints by city residents, specifically saying neighborhood streets are an absolute mess. Well, today, the city streets director got grilled by the Board of Aldermen. Now, she did defend her department while also saying their department is looking to update specifically how the snow plows throughout the city. Now, as we know, throughout the city of St. Louis, unless it's on a snow route, neighborhood streets are not plowed. This has led to icy streets for the last week in neighborhoods, and even on snow routes, vehicles have trouble getting in and out. Streets director Bethany Williams says they are continuing to go over these streets, adding salt and plowing when they can.
We're going back over and over with the hope that we have enough chemical down with the sun, and we are paying attention to the weather, that it will all work together.
Now, during the meeting, Alderman Brett Narayan called the city's response an absolute disaster. And Mayor Tishaura Jones tweeted a little bit ago that the city is changing tactics, using smaller trucks from different departments to salt and treat neighborhood streets. Reporting live in the city, John Kipper, First Alert 4.
We've gotten a lot of calls from people who are frustrated by this. Good to hear that the city is listening to those residents. John, thank you.
And that hearing at City Hall comes while the city has received over 1,000 calls for slick roads. Our Nathan Vickers taking us to the slippery streets and hearing from residents working to make the best of the worst.
With a street that looked like a tundra,
it is quite icy.
Brandon Hall decided to stop slipping.
I'm wearing boots, too.
And start gliding. His neighbors took this video of him skating up and down the block, which he says was all in fun.
Had a little time between some calls and thought I would take a trip back down childhood memory lane and try to get a few laps in because we got some good ice.
But the ice left to freeze, untreated, has been a frustration for neighborhoods around the city.
With a sustained cold and not salting, not plowing, and kind of waiting on Mother Nature to take over, it hasn't really provided a whole lot of relief.
I've been pretty unhappy with the situation and disappointed in the city.
Body shops around the area have seen the consequences of slick roads.
Repair it and repaint it.
Complete Auto Repair says their calls have been up more than 25% since last week's storm.
A big increase in tow-ins, a lot of estimates coming in, a lot of slipping and sliding into ditches.
And their shops aren't the only ones facing a heavy workload.
Be patient with all the shops wherever your car is. Everyone's doing the best they can.
The city says its plows are too big for narrow side streets, but that crews are catching up on spreading salt on the ice.
One way to start would certainly be some salt.
And while Hall says he's enjoyed his impromptu rink, he's ready to see pavement again.
I think a little better planning would definitely go a long way in the future as well.
Nathan Vickers, First Alert 4.